It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Morgan to Baxter's in trouble, there they go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass, and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 13 in season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway here on Memorial Day weekend for the longest race of the season. This, the Coca-Cola 600, part of Indy 250 Week 2020. But the big focus right now is on this crown jewel event in the biggest series on Napa Fan. I'm joined alongside Trey Wright for the call of this race, and Trey, it's the longest race of the season. There's going to be a lot of time to make moves, to avoid wrecks, to call pit strategy. How do you think tonight's race is going to play out here on a new version of the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the 2018 BBMC version instead of the 2011 version?
Well, Napa Fan, as always, Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Coke 600 has always provided a great show here for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We have seen some crazy stuff happen, some crazy wrecks, or we've even seen a phantom debris caution here in Season 6. So, just even though it is a new racetrack with a bit different groove, we're still going to be seeing some crazy action here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And we have already seen a lot of crazy action here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway all week long. Last week in the All-Star race as well. I mean, last night's Turkey Hill Series race had 4 wrecks in it. I don't think it's going to be quite as wild for this one. We toned it down just a little bit so that we could get some green flag racing in. But what happens on this version of the Charlotte Motor Speedway is that after the tires wear out, the outside lane starts to kick in, and we can get some great side-by-side action here. A little bit different than what we used to have on the 2011 version. Either way, it's great to have you here on this Friday night. Hope you're having a great Memorial Day weekend so far. Of course, it's a great weekend here on Napa Fan with the Indianapolis 250 coming up on Sunday. But the big focus is here with the Coca-Cola 600. 80 laps of action around this 1.5-mile speedway in Concord, North Carolina for the 13th race of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series season number 9. This is how they line up in the championship standings after 12 races. Of course, last weekend we have the All-Star race, so it's been 2 weeks since we've had a points race here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And in our last race in Martinsville, Reagan Whitlock took the points lead away. He is 77 ahead of the cutoff mark for the chase. Got Shane Lake 76 ahead, Alexander Rowe 59 ahead, Salmon Oskin 50 points ahead, Bradley Ream 34 points ahead, Zachary Fitzwater 23 ahead, Ryan Durrani 21 ahead, Andrew Miller 18 ahead, Mark Davidson, last year's Coca-Cola 600 winner, 15 ahead, and Diego Yepes 3 points ahead of the cutoff mark with 8 races, including this one left to go in the regular season. Here, Jarlarvin Alonso 5 points behind the cutoff. Silas Orta is also 5 points. Actually, Alonso's 3 points behind the cutoff, excuse me. Silas Orta 5 points behind the cutoff. And Fisher G, who's actually leading in the wildcard standings, is 7 points behind the main chase cutoff. In the wildcard standings, Fisher G leads it with a 45-point gap on the cutoff in the wildcard, with Wyatt Quayle 14 points ahead, Thomas Troxel 14 points behind the cutoff, Iquan Haslam 15 points behind the cutoff, and Jesse Turner, last week's All-Star race winner, 17 points behind the cutoff. Trey just found that out. We're recording this race the day of that Meliello All-Star race you saw last week. But either way, we're ready to get this one started. John Hart won the pole yesterday in Coca-Cola 600 qualifying. We haven't seen much of John Hart yet this season, but today could be the day for win number 22 on his career. Alongside him, it is a Turkey Hill hot seat driver in the Turkey Hill machine, Mitchell Collins in the number 57. Nathan Stapleton alongside Bradley Ream. It's a home race for Bradley Ream driving the number 40 machine for King Art Family Racing. Keegan Thompson to the inside of good old Zachary Fitzwater, who finished second for the 3rd time in the All-Star race here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. North State Racing teammates, and we're in the North State, so another home team and a home race for these guys. LJ Semedo in the 66 and Alexander Rowe, our Daytona 500 winner, starting alongside him. Then Titan Fury Motorsports teammates Brad Stover and Sebastian Kukulon make up row number 5. Make sure everybody is rolling off, and they are. Trey, who is going to go to victory lane in this year's Coca-Cola 600?
The 05 car of John Art is going to start the race in the front, and my prediction to win the race is going to be the 06 of Tristan Allen. I have a strong feeling. I've been predicting it all week. Tristan Allen, he has shown speed. He is going to get that first Chick-fil-A Cup Series win on fuel mileage with a last lap pass. That is my prediction for this race. Tristan Allen goes to Body Armor victory lane.
That's a bold prediction. We're just going to have to see. Anything is possible on a Friday night in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Pace car is pulled off. Happy Memorial Day. Let's get this one going from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Lap 1, and a bonus point towards the championship for the all-time winningest driver on Napa Fan, John or Nathan Stapleton, to second. He got around Mitchell Collins, Keegan Thompson, Zachary Fitzwater, the top 4 for the moment.
Mitchell Collins scraping the outside wall coming off of turn 2. He did not get a good start, and he is stuck on that outside lane as there are 3 wide behind him. He transitions back to the inside lane as Bradley Ream. He's going to transition to the outside lane and hung out to dry just a little bit.
Of course, Bradley Ream won the fan vote last week, but here, you don't need the fan vote to win, and we're going to have to see if Bradley Ream can power that number 40 machine to victory lane for the first time this season. You got LJ Cimento to his inside. Texas winner Sam Oskins here. And this race might play out a lot like Texas, a very similar racetrack, of course, so Oskin looking for a second career Napa Fan win here tonight in the longest race of the season. Meanwhile, John Art continues to lead in the Coca-Cola 600, coming to lap 4. Keegan Thompson, great run for the Canadian in number 5. And Nathan Stapleton, Zachary Fitzwater, and Brad Stover round out the top 5 here at Charlotte. 3 wide there. Jordan Lopez in the 71 in a sandwich between Matt Dalio and Tristan Allen. Look at Allen on the outside lane. And this is what I was talking about. I mean, we're only on lap 4. The tires haven't worn out that much, but those guys ride the wall through turns 1 and 2 sometimes, and even through turns 3 and 4 now. It is intense out here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's all I got to say.
Indeed it was. We saw Matt Dalio nearly make some contacts. We have a battle for the lead between Art and Davidson, 3 wide in the back, but Mitchell Collins, just want to focus on him one more time here. He is all the way back. He's not even in the top 10, and he started on the outside pole. That's how much the outside lane does not work on a fresh set of tires before the rubber gets laid down. But he's going to have to work his way back up if he wants to have a chance to win this race. But it is a long race, so we'll just have to wait and see. New leader is the 5 of Keegan Thompson, not Mark Davidson.
Yeah, and of course the teammate to last year's Coca-Cola 600 winner, looking strong, looking for his first career Napa Fan win. Of course, Thompson got wrecked out in the Melialo Open last week and didn't really have a good chance of making the All-Star race. He wants to make up for that here tonight in the Coca-Cola 600, but another guy who really wants to make up that All-Star race is Zachary Fitzwater. Like I mentioned, finished second for the 3rd time in that event. And not only that, he was leading at the white flag before Turner just came whizzing by for the $25 grand prize. John Art back to the inside for the race lead. And here comes Nathan Stapleton. Great run for the 97 here tonight. Might poke a nose to the inside of John Art. And we got 3 wide for the race lead on lap 7.
3 abreast going down the back straightaway here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I think Thompson with the outside lane, he's going to be the biggest loser.
Man.
Oh, man.
Who knows which lane's going to get the advantage, and might be John Art in the 05, who will take the race lead away and go single file to the top position. What a move there out of John Art. Thompson's going to work the outside here. Got Nathan Stapleton on the inside of the number 5 machine. Here comes Zachary Fitzwater as well. Bradley Ream inside the top 5. Great run for the rookie driver. Of course, Ream, 34 points ahead of the cutoff coming into this race. A top 5 here tonight would definitely help him out in making the chase later on in 7 races. But John Art looking strong here tonight at Charlotte. He continues to lead the Coke 600. Nathan Stapleton might get a run to the inside of him, though. To the inside for the race lead on lap 9 for the NS Racing driver.
Indeed, John Art goes way wide. He arcs it all the way through turns 1 and 2. And he is going to get the drive off, so the outside lane is starting to be broken in as the tires begin to wear. As we're 1/8 of the way through this race, Stapleton trying to hug that 05's back bumper, trying to get a run off of him coming off of turns 3 and 4.
Oh, and he got a run to the inside, but Fitzwater's going to have a run on him now. And watch out for the North State guys. LJ Sametto with a great run. And, of course, his teammate Alex Inero has had a solid season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. No surprise to see these guys both running up front here. Davey Johnson, the owner of this team, is a home race for these guys in North State Racing. And they're doing a pretty darn good job right now. Sametto in that patriotic scheme right there. Exalta coming on board. I believe you painted this car, didn't you?
Indeed, I did. Along with the 34... the Velocistar racing cars, and the 38. So, a couple of patriotic cars to represent here. Thanking our veterans, not just on the military front, but on the healthcare front during this pandemic. Thank you to all the people that are working through to keep this world and country safe. As John R. back out in front with Fitzy right on his heels.
And I second all of what Trey said right there. Of course, we thank all those essential workers and military and everybody who's still on the front lines during this pandemic. And we're glad you're here enjoying a little fun entertainment here on Napa Fan in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. John Art's enjoying it, let me tell you that much. He's led the most laps so far here tonight, but Zachary Fitzwater up to second, Bradley Ream third, LJ Sametto and Alexander Rowe. They're working together and they're coming through the field. How about Wyatt Quayle here, Bristol winner from earlier this year. They're working their way on the inside lane there in that number 39. How about Nathan Baird as well? He won the Hearst Dash Series race a couple nights ago, so he's already got a Charlotte win under his belt. And somebody blowing up. It's Wyatt Quayle in the 39. Oh boy, this is going to stack the field up. They got to be careful. Look at Jesse Turner getting around everybody. Wyatt Quayle trying to get to the apron, and he will successfully, but I don't know if these guys are going to successfully get away from it. They will not. Ace Garcia around in the 81, and they're stacking up at the back of the field. Cody Sill in the 37, and they just stopped. Dale Lightning, Reagan Whitlock. Patrick Smith is not happy. He just put Whitlock back in the outside wall, and Ace Garcia tapped in. My goodness.
That was quite the chain of events, similar in a way to what happened at Martinsville. A car with a problem and holding up the pack and creating a large accident. Wyatt Quayle, worst possible time for that engine to expire, and that's going to take out a couple of cars to be collaterally collected in this incident. So, very tough break for a lot of these guys who are just innocent bystanders.
Yeah, looks like Ryan Durrani, the 68, also got caught up in that one. Didn't initially see him there. His teammate, our points leader, Reagan Whitlock, all torn up. And Ace Garcia was the first guy to go around. Patrick Smith got spun in the All-Star race as well. And then Cody Sill in the 37. Tough break for Sill, representing the Blue Angels here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here we go. First pit stop of the night. It will surely not be the last one. I believe the fuel runs about 27 laps here at Charlotte. So we'll have a few pit stops here tonight in this race. And this is a tight pit lane as well. These guys have to be careful not to get too much contact coming down the pit lane. Watch out for Mitchell Collins here. He fell back. He's got that second pit stall right in between John Art and Nathan Stapleton. Of course, Durrani had already come down the pit lane. That's why he's coming off now. John Art's going to win the race off, and his teammate, Bradley Ream's going to go to second. Zachary Fitzwater, Alexander Rowe, Nathan Baird, Jesse Turner. Did you see what Turner did there when they stacked up? He rode the outside and passed pretty much the entire field. And I can remember, it was a couple years ago at Martinsville, he did something very similar where they stacked up on a cooldown lap and he just drove by him and came down the pit lane. Now, obviously, karma came to bite him in that race as he came down the pit lane with 2 laps to go, giving the race win to Nathan Stapleton. But Turner, who won the All-Star race last week, I mean, he doesn't care anymore. He took away a lot of positions there, and he's now inside the top 10. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the night. An unfortunate accident because of a stack-up. Wyatt Quayle blowing up and stacking up the field here on lap 13 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Wyatt Quayle, 39 machine. I mean, there's nothing he can do about it. Just kaboom, went the engine early on in this race. Tough break there for the Trans-Tasman Racing driver. I mean, Nathan Stapleton was right behind the 39 when that happened. And you got Brad Stover right there as well in the 99. And Quayle has to get down to the apron so he can come down the pit lane, but Brad Stover moves to the inside, and this is partly why we had the issue to begin with, because Stover did not do the best job trying to avoid the 39. I mean, he did do a good job avoiding the 39, but because of that move, Quayle couldn't get down. And look at Turner there. He just kept it in the gas and drove around everyone. I mean, he won the All-Star race. He should know how to work this racetrack. Of course, we have a different setup here tonight than we did in the All-Star race. Obviously, this guy's going a little bit slower, but that just stacked everyone up. And then off the corner, they were 4 wide. I mean, no doubt about it, they're going to wreck when they do this. It might have actually been Shane Lake here in the 15 that got in the Ace Garcia. That's exactly what happened. Spun the 81 around. And Ryan Durrani has nowhere to go. Dale Lightning has nowhere to go. They're already slow, trying to avoid the 39. Cody Sill runs right into the back of Durrani. And it was a very slow accident, I'll tell you that much. But they just stacked it up. Patrick Smith, Reagan Whitlock at the back of this field right here. They just stopped, and they still got involved in the accident. And you also see Wyatt Quayle get hit again by Cody Sill. Fisher G, our last winner, almost avoided it, and I think he did. But then you're going to see right here at the end, Patrick Smith and Reagan Whitlock get into it. And Smith not too happy, then Ace Garcia tapped him hard. Very extended wreck right there. But thankfully not too many guys got involved, and wasn't too much damage on a lot of these guys. But Quayle's going to be out. Not to see about Whitlock and Ace Garcia. Odds are they're not going to have the best of runs tonight here in the Coca-Cola 600.
The wrong place, wrong time for Wyatt Quayle to blow up. And unfortunately, when an accident happens, many drivers, they need an escape route. But when a driver is in the middle of the racetrack right there, as we see Jesse Turner Days of Thundering it through past the accident, as we see a bunch of cars, they just all stack up. And there's no escape route. So there's no place for a lot of these guys to go. And unfortunately, a lot of race cars got torn up. And then you see Reagan Whitlock in the 92. He's riding the wall, and then he just turns on the side of that Tag Here car of Patrick Smith. So unfortunately, a lot of these guys are gonna pay the price of Wyatt Quayle's engine expiring. But that's just the way it goes here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And Jesse Turner was probably the biggest winner out of that entire incident. And we'll just have to see what he does on the restart here in the Coca-Cola 600.
Not only that, Jesse Turner gained a lot of positions on the pit lane, too. So he's really cashing in right now. But John Hart seems to have the strongest car. He's got his teammate right behind him. We're not even a quarter of the way through this race. Like Trey said, let's go ahead and see what happens on the restart here in the Coca-Cola 600 for 2020. We're back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hope you're having a great Friday night here watching the Coca-Cola 600, longest race of the season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And we've got another long one coming up on Sunday with the Indianapolis 250. But the focus right now is on this race, and we're not even a quarter of the way through it here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. John Hart, the race leader. Bradley Ream, his teammate. Great run so far for King Hart Family Racing. They're 1-2 right now. Zachary Fitzwater is third. Alexander Rowe, this is a huge moment for him. The points leader was involved in that accident. Shane Lake's having a tough night as well. Rowe could retake the points lead at the end of the night here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Then Nathan Baird, Jesse Turner, who whipped it on the outside there during that wreck. LJ Sametto, Nathan Faden, Silas Orta won his first career Napa fan race on Monday. And then Sam Oskin rounds out the top 10. Drivers out of the race include Wyatt Quayle, obviously, and that is it, as Ryan Durrani is a lap down in the 68. Everybody else still on the lead lap here in the Coca-Cola 600.
As they get set, these guys have a fresh set of Goodyears on the cars. Nathan Baird, he's going to take advantage of the inside lane being the preferred line, and he's going to go to the inside of Alexander Rowe. And like you mentioned, this is a huge opportunity for Rowe, as the guys who are ahead of him in the points are deep in the field. So this could be a great opportunity for points. We don't do stages here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but if he keeps his nose clean and his pit crew does an exceptional job on the pit lane during the money stops, I think he's going to be a contender at later in this race, as John Hart is still in the lead.
Yeah, Bradley Ream tried to get to him there, but couldn't hold the inside, and Fitzwater, oh brother!
Oh, contact!
They got wide there through the corner. Nathan Faden shot it up the racetrack, and Fitzy's got a problem. He's coming down the pit lane. My goodness. Second in the
2
All-Star
points.
race again, and now he's most likely going to go a lap down as an issue on the number 9. How about Nathan Faden, number 12 machine? It's been a tough season for him in a round. Back in there, that's Tristan Allen and Mitchell Collins in the 57. Well,
Keep it clean, nobody wreck. I saw him going 4 wide off the corner, just a single car incident. And this,
that unfortunately will not save Zachary Fitzwater. Had a tire go down, I believe. But that might have actually, that 4 wide might have been caused because of Fitzy coming down. You saw how they gravitated towards the top of the racetrack to let the 9 come down the pit lane. That might have caused the 4 wide situation off the corner. Another quick caution here at Charlotte.
indeed, and fortunately, the only victim of this was our outside pole sitter.
It might not have just been that. 10th in points, Diego Yepes, who's only 3 ahead of the cutoff, also got caught up. Oh, we had a stack up.
Oh man. Oh.
Yes, Fisher G. I think a lot of the guys who were involved in that first wreck stacked it up in the back of the field. Oh,
Yeah, I
man,
think so.
Fitzy, what are you
Oh,
doing? He's trying to get back to his position on the racetrack, and he just ran right into Mitchell Henderson.
I think Fitzy's had one too many Fosters tonight. Oh my goodness. We're coming back down the pit lane.
Nikolai Sykes with damage as well. I don't know exactly what happened here. We saw a bit of a stack up last night in the Turkey Hill Series race. And we also have split strategy right now of all these guys coming down the pit lane. Alex and Earl are going to win the race off of the guys who came down, but a lot of guys stayed out. And we're going to see some new faces up front. But some faces we're not going to see anymore, like Mitchell Henderson and Nikolai Sykes. And Fitzy, I mean, we could penalize him, but he knocked himself out of the race by running into the back of Mitchell Henderson, so it works out, but does not work out at all for Mitchell Henderson. I mean, it's something stupid every race for this guy. Tough break for all those guys involved. Yepes with a bit of damage, but the caution initially came out for Mitchell Collins. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the caution here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Coca-Cola 600. Well, they were 4 wide off the corner. Miller had actually slid up the racetrack, then bounced off a cemento, came down on Allen and Collins had nowhere to go. But that was just a minor accident compared to what we had on the cooldown lap. Diego Yepes, Gatlin Downey, and Mitchell Henderson get into it. And you're going to see right here, as they come across the start-finish line, they start to cool it down. Downey just moves right into Yepes, and they stack it up. Entering turn number 1, Henderson already had damage. Nikolai Sykes had nowhere to go. And then a lot of the guys who were involved in that first accident came and piled in. Reagan Whitlock, Fisher G, and Cody Sill. And Yepes is not going to be happy with Downey after that one. No doubt about it.
Yeah, tempers are definitely
He's trying to come back around because he had already started the lap that the caution occurred, so he's essentially racing back to the line, and he just ended Mitchell Henderson's misery right here. Right into the back of him. Henderson was already on the apron coming down the pit lane, and Fitzwater gonna knock himself out. Such a tough one there for Beast Racing especially. Both Fitzy and Yepes involved. Tough break for those guys here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
So they're racing back to the caution. You're going to see Gatlin Downey move up on Yepes in that 88 Arby's car just a little bit as they come through the quad oval. Actually, no, it appears it was a combination of Yepes and Gatlin coming down, and then once again Mitchell Henderson getting caught up in somebody else's mess. You see Yepes, he goes down, he spins around, and then Henderson's going to shoot right back up and pancakes the outside wall right there. They come down. These cars are still downshifting from racing back to the caution flag. Nikolai Sykes has nowhere to go. And then T-bones the 88 right there. And they're just stacking up. Sam Adio gets a little bit of damage. Arvin Alonso gets by. And then you see Reagan Whitlock. So both actually no, Shane Lewis, the other competitor. Fisher G, the Martinsville winner. Cody Sill. I'm not sure if he's lots of points situation or not, but regardless,
not really, but still, I mean, it's not going to help any of these guys in points, especially Whitlock. I mean, Whitlock really just hurt his day here. Odds are he's not going to be the points leader at the end of the night. Well, Let's see how this all plays out. We had split strategy coming down. Some guys came down, some guys didn't. And guys like Turner came down. Alexander Rowe also came down the pit lane. I think Bradley Ream might have come down. So it's going to be interesting to see how this split strategy plays out later on in the race. These guys might be a little bit faster with the fresher tires, especially if we get a green flag run. That could definitely help these guys out. But either way, let's get back to racing here in the Coca-Cola 600. John Arndt, your race leader here in the longest race of the season. We are back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600. And we're just getting started here. Already 2 cautions, lap 24 of 80. It's going to be a long night, but it's going to be a fun night. So we got a lot of guys in contention for this race victory. John Arndt, the race leader. Nathan Faden, Nathan Baird, L.J. Sametto, and Keegan Thompson. Nathan Stapleton is 6th. We got 3 Nathans in the top 6. Andrew Miller, Matt Dalio, good run for Daniel McMillan, and Iquan Haslam, the Homestead winner, rounding out the top 10. We'll check in back here. Somehow Whitlock and Henderson are still out on the racetrack and on the lead lap. Ryan Durrani a lap down, Nicolay Sykes, Fisher G, Cody Sill, and Zachary Fitzwater out of the race. See those guys with damage? These are the guys who came down the pit lane. Alexander Rose, Silas Orta, Sam Oskim, Jesse Turner. Watch out for those guys later on in this run. Hopefully we get a long green flag run right here. Get some good racing in. John Arndt, our pole sitter, continuing to lead, but here comes Faden to the inside. You know, both of Faden's teammates have won a race this season. Shane Lakes won twice. Troxel won at Talladega. Faden wants to make his owner, Matt Tuck, proud here tonight and get the 3rd Velocitar Racing car in victory lane with the American colors.
Indeed he does, as John Arndt, he goes back, he goes a little wide through 3 and 4. Oh, nearly some contact with Baird. Baird's going to try and get up here as well as Stapleton. We're going to try and see if there's a Nathan Civil War here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for the first time this season, if I'm not mistaken.
The Nathan, and Nathan show. All 3 of the Nathans in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series inside the top 5 right now. Stapleton looking 3 wide to the inside of Sametto and John Arndt, and he's going to get the run right there. How about Matt Dalio? Got a couple of Canadians mixing up here on Memorial Day weekend. You got Matt Dalio in the 75, Keegan Thompson in the 5. They're both running inside the top 10 right now. But it's Nathan Faden leading the field in the American colors for Velocitar Racing.
Nathan. That is your top 3 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. With Faden, Baird, and Stapleton respectively. And Faden, he's got out to a huge lead. As Stapleton, he's going to go to the inside of another Nathan with help from John Arndt.
One of those Nathans is a Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion, and that's Nathan Baird trying to work the outside on Stapleton right here. They're side by side. A couple of team owner drivers, I should mention as well. Both of these guys, both Baird and Stapleton, are owner drivers, so they're going after it in their own rides right here. 3 wide. You know, I gotta give a lot of credit to this guy. L.J. Sametto has yet to win a race on that pin, never won before. He's going after Matt Dalio and John freaking Arndt. Like 40 career wins between those 2 guys, and he's going right with them here, running in the Coke 600 just as fast as they are. Great job for the 66. Yeah, Keegan Thompson here in the 5. Great run for him. Thomas Trossel moving his way through the field as well. But Faden looking to surprise us all and get Velocitar Racing to have all 3 of their cars in victory lane this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
That would definitely be something, as Nathan Stapleton, he goes to the 2nd position. It's a dogfight between Arndt and Nathan Baird for the 3rd position. Sametto, he's going to try and take advantage of this. So it's a 3-way battle for the 3rd podium position. And meanwhile, it's a Hornet's Nest behind them.
John Arndt and Nathan Baird battled in the championship a lot last year. They had a battle at Pocono, and John Arndt had the best of Baird in that race. John Arndt has had a tough season so far. We really haven't seen much of him as we got 4 wide off the corner. Yikes!
Oh, contact!
Kukalon and McMillan and Alonso and Jordan Lopez. Great to see Jordan Lopez here tonight. Got the good run at the Lucas Oil Raceway and then qualified his way in last night for the Coke 600. And here he is for Titan Fury Motorsports, racing inside the top 20. Good run for Jordan Lopez, who's also going to be in the Indy 250 on Sunday. Same goes for Turner in the 77, Sam Adio in the 48. Those guys also going to be going for an Indy 250 race victory. Some guys doing the double. But Nathan Faden, who's actually also doing the double, leading this field. We'll have to see if Faden wins, and maybe wins on Sunday. That'd be something. Stapleton as well doing the double. A lot of guys doing the double this year since we opened the IndyCar Series back up for Cup drivers again. But how about Nathan Faden here? It's been a tough season for this team, but they are shining here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on Memorial Day weekend.
It has been.
Boy. Bear shot it up the racetrack. We're seeing a lot of this slip and slide through the corner. We saw it during the All-Star race. We saw it in the Turkey Hill Series race especially. And we're seeing some of it here tonight where the grip's just going out on the tires and they are working it on that outside lane.
Indeed they are. It's developed into a 2 or 3 groove track, so the racing's definitely going to get a little bit more edgy than it was in the early stages of the race. As the 79 of Daniel McMillan. I can never get McMillan and Dalio straight. I always think
I think it does hurt a little bit that I switched their numbers this season. Because Dalio used to be in the 79, McMillan used to be in the 75, but they switched numbers because Valvoline used to sponsor Neil Bonnet in the Real Life Cup Series. I think it was 1987, and Neil Bonnet drove the 75. And Matt Dalio will be driving a Neil Bonnet throwback during the... Well, I'm going to give it away to Trey now. He's going to be pretty happy when I say this. But you guys already know when you're watching this, the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout coming up in the Southern States 400. Matt Dalio is going to be driving that throwback for Neil Bonnet in that event. And thanks to you, Trey. Thanks to Hairgel for making all those throwbacks 3 weeks from now. Thought this race is fun. You're definitely going to enjoy the Southern States 400 throwback race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Somebody had an issue, I think. They came up on somebody, and they are stacking up. It might be Alonso or somebody. It's a big gap in the pack right here, and looks like they are getting away just fine. But look at all these guys. Turner has them. They pulled away, and somebody had a problem, and they jammed the pack up.
I think it might have been Samadeo. He's all the way on the outside.
Yeah, you're right. It is Samadeo. You're right. I remember Samadeo was running up with those guys, and I don't know if he lost a cylinder or what, but stacked the field up, and all these guys in the second pack have fallen off, and they are falling way back from the rest of the field, and if they don't get a caution, it's going to be a tough race for them. But Turner has them. A couple of guys in the wild card race here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, they got away from that, currently running 12th and 13th, but 13 guys have pulled away. You got John Art. Oh, here he come on Mitchell Henderson now. They got to be careful getting around the lap machine.
Thompson's going to get the short end of the stick. Sameta goes to the inside as Troxel. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide with the slow car. Slow car is going to get in the way. And they clear him with ease as Dalio, he's going to go to the inside. Along with Kukulon.
Kukulon's coming here in the 13 machine. Jordan Lopez, Daniel McMillan. You got Jesse Turner there as well. We got a side-by-side battle right here between Iquan Haslam and Andrew Miller. They're closing in on Henderson there, and they're going to be closing in on more lap cars. Ryan Durrani in the 68, Nathan Baird in the 16.
Actually, what happened to Baird?
That might have been where the problem was. I think Baird might have had a tire go down. He had to come down the pit lane, and that split the pack up. That is probably what happened. So tough break for Nathan Baird, who was running up front in this race. He's now a lap down here in the Coke 600. This is a tough race. I mean, we've seen a couple of tire issues already tonight. A blown engine. It's definitely been a wild one so far in the Coke 600. Just about halfway. Next time by, we will be halfway through the Coca-Cola 600. And Nathan Faden looking to pull away with this race victory. But Nathan Stapleton is not going to let him have it easy. And neither will John Art let him have it easy. Because that 05 is just as fast as our front two.
Don't forget, we do have another set of pit stops. Or 2 pit stops. I'm not entirely sure if... I think... 2 at the minimum, at the max.
I think it's about 2 more pit stops. Now, we do have those guys who came down, like Jesse Turner, like Alexander Rowe. I don't know if Rowe got out of that one. He didn't. John Art for second on Nathan Stapleton. That 05 is pretty fast. You got around the 97. How about Thomas Troxel? Haven't actually put much of a focus on the 35 yet, but here he is up to the 4th position. LJ Sameto as well in the 66. That is the top 5. And John Art's coming, and they're closing in on Ryan Durrani as well. This might slow up Faden here, halfway through the Coca-Cola 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Cross flags in the flag stand as Nathan Faden, he tries to see, tries to line up on how he wants to approach the 68. He's closing rapidly on him. I think he's going to get him in between turns 3 and 4. He's going to catch him now. Goes to the inside with ease. And John Art, he's
these guys are spread out like they are, so it's not as much of an issue trying to get around the lap traffic. If you're double wide during this whole thing, it doesn't usually work out too well. There goes John R. He's going to go ahead and get around the lap car of Ryan Durrani, but Stapleton might get held up here. Lap traffic don't have much respect for the leaders usually in NR 2003. That's just the way it usually is. Stapleton will get around Durrani here eventually. Then it's Troxel, LJ Cemento, these guys closing in. How about Otter Island Motorsports? Matt Dalio, Jesse Turner, and Daniel McMillan all inside this pack, all inside the top 12. They haven't had the best of seasons. I mean, Dalio did win the Smooth Fest, Turner won the All-Star Race and won Las Vegas, but McMillan's really had a tough season. A great run for this 79 team here tonight at Charlotte.
Otter Island Motorsports, they've been in the back for a lot of the season, but they're starting to climb up from the depths of the bottom of the points as Faden continues to lead here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. But John Hart, he's got a bad, fast Kinghart Family Motorsports Dodge. He's going to try and hound that number 12 car.
Keegan Thompson on the inside of Matt Dowler. These guys still battling up front. Jesse Turner, Sebastian Kukalon. How about Jordan Lopez, uncharted guy in the middle of all this, and Dalio. They're now closing in on Durrani, and they were in a side-by-side battle at the wrong time, but Thompson's also getting held up by the 68 here.
Indeed, so this, excuse me, it's going to let these 6 or so cars kind of break away, form their own little mini pack here. Actually, it's the top 5 cars, excuse me, as Thompson, he gets by. But he's going to have a lot of ground to make up as they're catching up on the 66 of LJ, not the 66, the 81 of,
Ace Garcia there.
Garcia, yeah.
Yeah, and he was one of those guys who went around in that first accident. Let's go ahead and go through the field. We got all these guys in this pack. We've gone through them there. Andrew Miller is actually starting to close back in, or actually I think he lost the pack. He's 13th right now. Sam at Oskin, Cameron Garlington, Patrick Smith. Good run for him, considering he got caught up in that first accident there. Inside the top 20 right now. Alex Enro fell back to 16th there. And you got Brad Stover, Mark Davidson, last year's Coke 600 winner. Shane Lakes rebounded nicely, and as a matter of fact, with Alex in a row where he is, Shane Lake might end up taking this points lead away. I mean, obviously he'll take it away from Reagan Whitlock. Whitlock, with so much damage, he's not going to be able to contend with these guys, only unless Lake and Rowe both wreck out. But Bradley Reed back in here, Brett Sierra. Brett Sierra's teammate Tristan Allen there, not the best of runs for him here tonight, 23rd. Sergio Arvin Alonso, Eli Bright, Nicholas Samadillo. There's Dale Lightning, Silas Orta, Gatlin Downey, and Diego Yepes. Trey Barto also a little bit slow. He also must have had a tire issue. He's a lap down. And same with Nathan Baird in the 16. Henderson, we've already lapped once. Henderson, or should I say Collins, I should say, in the 57 on the tail end of the lead lap. Same with Reagan Whitlock, our points leader. Don't ask me how he's still on the lead lap with that thing. But he wants to salvage every point he can have because he is the points leader. He's leading in the chase standings right now. Of course, we haven't gotten to the chase yet, but he's the safest guy right now to make the chase by the time we get to the end of the regular season. They're closing in on Ace Garcia. They've gotten around the 81, or at least Nathan Faden has. And Faden's really got an advantage with this lap traffic because he's able to get around them however he wants to. Then the second place guy comes along and seems to be a little bit harder for those guys to get around the lap machines. Thomas Troxel also on the inside lane here. And Ace Garcia just blew up. That was very convenient because we got pit stops. Turner's going to stay out and lead lap 48. And those guys are going to stay a little bit longer because, remember, they came down under the caution. We're going to have to see how this strategy plays out. These guys coming down right now, I believe, are going to have to make another stop in this race. But those guys who topped off under the caution, I believe they might be able to stay out. And that's going to put Turner in the driver's seat to possibly win this race.
This strategy is always interesting in this race, as unfortunately we have had another engine expire with Ace Garcia. Tough break for him. I will say it was oddly satisfying to see him and the rest of the pack go down to the pit lane. But it's Faden. He's going to get 4 tires, and he's going to come out first. Arndt's going to be right behind him, along with Troxel. Thompson is going to get he's going to gain a position on pit road. And Turner, he's going to...
Chasm actually also came down the pit lane as well. And he has. So these guys, you know what? They do not want to lose much time on the guys who just came down. But Turner will get a couple laps late. He's actually going to stay out there in the 77. Like I mentioned, I think the field runs about 27 laps. They initially came down, I think, lap 19, and then it was about 30 laps later when they came down. So it's really close for those guys who just came down the pit lane. This thing could end up being a fuel mileage race, just like Trey predicted Now, I don't know if it's going to be Tristan Allen winning it, but someone like Jesse Turner or Sam Oskin or Patrick Smith, who have yet to make their second stop, or for them it would be their third stop of the race, they might have a bit of an advantage later on down the road. Jesse Turner now coming down the pit lane. Looks like Sam Oskin, Patrick Smith, they're going to do the same. And Bradley Ream just got spun by Alexander Rowe and into him hard.
No.
Baird and Phaeton.
Oh, this is going to be a huge mess with these guys.
Oh, man.
Slow down, please. Slow down.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man. Once again, other drivers getting caught up in
Oh,
people's
hard hit.
messes.
That was
Oh,
a massive hit.
Drexel.
That was Shane Lake.
Downey.
Sam Adio also getting caught up. Gatlin,
Oh,
Downey,
man.
too. They're racing back to the line. This is exactly what we saw at Dover a few weeks ago.
And this is, and you know who this is going to favor? Reagan Whitlock. Shane Lake, he's destroyed. I don't think Alexander Rowe has too much damage.
He got rear-ended pretty hard there. I think he's got a lot of damage.
So if Reagan
And not
Whitlock,
only that happened during the cycle. Now, I do believe everyone had already come down the pit lane, and it should cycle. Actually, you know what? It didn't. Dale Lightning in the 38 had yet to come down. Same with Diego Yepes. Man, good old racing at Charlotte. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen now, will ya?
no, you do not. And unfortunately, two of the strongest cars. Actually, no, I wasn't Thomas Troxel. It was Shane Lake. They're all painted the same because I was lazy while painting those cars. But anyway, two of the Velocitar racing cars taken out. And
the
that's
biggest one was definitely Nathan Phaeton, who was in the driver's seat to win this race. No doubt about it. It's showing Mitchell Collins currently the race leader. However, he had hit the pit lane, and that's going to give the lead over to the number 77 of Jesse Turner. And I had a feeling this was going to happen with these guys coming down the pit lane. They were on a different cycle. Everybody else who initially came down is now going to be on the tail end of the lead lap, and we don't have a wave around here in Inter 2003, so those guys are going to have to hope for a quick caution before Turner or somebody else behind Turner drives right around him. It's a lot like what happened in the Season 7 Coke 600. And it's happening again here at Charlotte, but tough break for all those guys. You see the 38 at Dale Lightning. He'll be on the lead lap. Same with Diego Yepes. It's going to help out Yepes in the points. He'll probably move himself closer inside the top 10 after this race here tonight.
And you speak of the season 7 version of this race, and a big wreck on the front straightaway during pit stops. That happened there as well around this time, around the lap 50 mark. This is roughly where some guys are going to be a little bit edgy on fuel, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see who can save the most. And who knows, somebody like Tristan Allen might get this win on fuel mileage, like Shane Lake did at Atlanta as well.
I mean, guys like Turner, guys who just came down, who are going to be the race leaders, they're going to have the advantage on the guys who are on the tail end of the lead lap, because those guys had already made their pit stop, and they have burned a little bit more fuel than our current race leaders. But either way, we got a lot to review here. As Alexander Rowe got in the Bradley Ream there as they were coming down the pit lane. A couple of guys who are both top 5 in points. And as they were racing back to the line, it's a lot of wham, slam, and bam. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the third caution of the night here in the Coca-Cola 600 from Charlotte. And I think Alexander Rowe in the 25 was staying out. Bradley Ream was coming down, and Ream cut down on the 25, and Rowe had nothing to do but to spin him. But the big problem here wasn't necessarily the spin, which I'd imagine would have triggered the caution. It's these guys racing back to the line. You see Nathan Baird, who was already a lap down, and Nathan Phaeton, who was the dominant guy in that run, plummeting right into Baird and Rowe. And for the longest time, it was just those 4 guys involved. But then Shane Lake took an absolutely ridiculous hit on the 25. You're going to see him come into the picture here. Look at this. It actually wasn't as bad of a hit as I initially thought. It just happened so fast, but he didn't hit him that much. And then Downey had nowhere to go. And then Sam Adio in the 48. It's been a tough night for him. Nowhere to go for him either. And right into the rear of Shane Lake there. Alonso and Tristan Allen get away with this. You know, it seemed like it was such a huge accident, but in reality, I believe only about 7 guys really got involved. Still such a tough break for Velocitar Racing. They had a shot, a very good chance with Nathan Faden in winning this race, and not going to happen after this massive accident on lap 53.
The wrong place, the wrong time, and wrong cars. Bradley Rain was all the way on the outside, then boom, both Nathans. Wow. What a shot for Nathan Baird. Thank goodness he was wearing a Hans device. And just unfortunately, those were the two dominant cars of the night, and they're just junk. You see Alexander Rowe, you see a couple cars going on the inside, and then bam, the other Velocitar Racing car free. And then Sam and Dio, Downey, innocent bystanders, just crash, bang, and hang on for a lot of those guys. And just that plays a huge portion into the outcome of this race. The two most dominant cars who were in the catbird seat to possibly win this race are absolute junk.
Jesse Turner now the race leader as he stayed out, and the strategy worked out. You know, that whole thing was pure strategy. It wasn't like it happened in the middle of a cycle. It was split strategy between the guys who had come down under the last caution and the guys who didn't. So Turner played the strategy correctly, and now he's going to be the race leader. Of course, a lot of these guys are going to hope the caution comes out once again right after this. But Jesse Turner, your race leader here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's see what he does on the restart in the Coca-Cola 600. We're back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. A wild night so far. 3 cautions in this race and a huge wreck here, knocking out Alex in a row. And the dominant driver of this race, Nathan Faden, is out. And not only that, it happened right in the middle of cycles, but it happened in between split strategies. So the guys who came down under the second caution are now at the advantage. Jesse Turner, Nathan Stapleton, LJ Semedo, the 83 of Sam Oskin, Patrick Smith, who was involved in an accident early on in the race, now running 5th, Brett Sierra, Eli Bright, Silas Orta, Dale Lightning, and Diego Pez. Mitchell Collins is 11th. This guy, Reagan Whitlock, is 12th. And then on the tail end of the lead lap, John Arndt, Thomas Troxel, Keegan Thompson, Matt Dalio, Andrew Miller, McMillan, all those guys, unfortunately, getting the short end of the stick there because of that caution coming out. Jesse Turner, the race leader. And it looks like that number 68 of Ryan Ronnie held the pack up there. That's going to really make things interesting. 3 wide for the second position as Turner pulls away for the race lead. Sam Oskin wants his second win of the year.
Indeed they do. As Stapleton, he's going to be on the outside, so he's probably going to lose a position as Jesse Turner. He does have all those cars in front of him, but for the time being, he's scooting away from these guys.
Turner's got to be careful here because you never know when something could happen in front of these guys. They're racing for 13th in the front of this pack. Thomas Troxel, McMillan, Andrew Miller. They do not want Turner to pass them. Allen's going to go a lap down right there. And Turner's got to be careful not to get involved in an accident because all these guys here up front want a caution to come out. But we don't have any scheduled cautions to come out ever here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And I know there's a way you can probably set a caution to come out on your own, but we're letting the race play out naturally. And Turner definitely benefiting from that. Sam Oskin, though, he's trying to close in on the 77. He's the only one who's really kept with them. How about the 30 of Patrick Smith with Damage running 3rd, and then Stapleton and Brett Sierra. Great run for Brett Sierra, the best run he's had all season there in that 04 machine. Turner now slicing through the field here, putting a majority of the field a lap down here in the Coca-Cola 600. It's got to be frustrating for these guys. Oh, Thompson a little wide off the corner there. He almost got in the Dalio. I was about to say, it's got to be frustrating for those guys like John Arndt, like Matt Dalio, who were dominant in this race early on, to get caught on the tail end just because of when they came down the pit lane.
Excuse me. Indeed, it does. Just pit strategy. It's strategy. There's a bit of luck involved. As you see, Turner, he's going to use that 34 Troop 1776 at the Shannock Station Ford Mustang as a bit of a human car shield in a way to try and get past these guys. But like you said, Equan has him in the middle between the 83 and the 05. Like you said, it's just frustrating for these guys. They've been dominating all night, but it could be worse. They could be in the garage like 2 of the 3 Nathans in this field, but it's just aggravating for those guys to be up front leading this race and then just having something like that happen. Just the meaningless people in the back to expend the Denny Hamlin quote, which they aren't really meaningless as they're part of the center community, but still, some other person's stuff affect your race, it's just gotta be aggravating. Alright, I'm done with my rambling now.
It's alright. A lot of these guys now going a lap down as Turner continues to slice through the field. Sam and Oskin, they're in the second position. Now, here's the thing. If Turner wins this race, it does not give him an advantage over the other drivers in the wild card race. He already has that race win. All that really matters for Turner right now is gaining points in that wild card race. He's 17 behind the cutoff, so we'll have to see what Turner can do here. But I'm sure Turner would love to get around all these guys and just show the strength of his race car. But Sam and Oskin, man, he's right there. That 83 is fast. And Turner might have a challenge for the race lead right here. Oskin looking to the inside. Turner's going to hold the inside for now, as we got under 20 laps to go here in the Coca-Cola 600. Jesse Turner looking to sweep the All-Star race in the Coke 600 here at Charlotte.
Not sure if that's ever been done. I'm assuming it has been, but Oskin's going to look high, and Turner's going to shut the doors that go through the quad oval. He's still going to look high. He's going to go back down low. Turner, he's blocking all coverage on the 83. And these guys are single file with a couple of lap cars with Mark Davidson and Jordan Lopez. But the closest car back is Patrick Smith.
Going to try to make the pass on the outside lane. He's got to run. And we've been in this run for a little while. The tire wear might come into play. Sam and Oskin on the outside lane of Jesse Turner, but now Mark Davidson's going to move up to block Oskin. Look at that. Side by side for the race lead, and Oskin trying to make a pass on the outside. That's something we've never really seen before here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but Oskin's going to get a great run there off the corner. Didn't quite hold it. They're still side by side. Turner's trying to get to the inside of Davidson now. The thing is, all these guys they're racing with are just as fast as they are. But look at this stuff. Side by side for the race lead here. Charlotte Yellow's back out. And look at who's going to get an advantage. Troxel, Miller, McMillan, Lopez, and Mark Davidson just at the line nicked out Jesse Turner. And they will remain on the lead lap here in the Coca-Cola 600.
Oh, man. It gets even better. It just gets even wilder as we had an incident on the back straight away. For what seems about the 30th time.
LJ Sametto in the 66. Another guy who had such a great run in this race. He was on the lead lap. Looks like he got sent to the inside wall.
Oh, man. Another car I painted gets caught up in this race. Caught up in a wreck. Oh, man.
This is definitely going to be interesting. That's got to hurt for John Art. Could not stay ahead of Turner before the yellow came out, and our pole sitter might still get a decent run in this race, but not going to be the best of runs. But how about these guys? You know, I don't know if they're going to have a shot at the race victory, but they're definitely going to get around guys like Mitchell Collins and Reagan Whitlock, so that's going to help them out, give them a few more positions. I mean, Troxel's in that wild card race. Miller is currently inside the chase. He can use all the points he can get. Of course, all these guys can use the points, but maybe with the exception of Jordan Lopez, since he's a Turkey Hill hot seat driver, not going for points in that 71. Let's see. I don't think anyone came down the pit lane. They're in turn 1 right now, so they're all staying out right here, which would lead me to believe they're good to go to the end. But, you know how Turner is when he's leading a race in this type of scenario. Happened a couple times to him in Season 7. He doesn't want it to happen to him again here tonight. Let's go and see what happened to bring out the fourth. Losing count. Fourth caution of the night. Most cautions we have had in a race so far this season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Let's see what happened to bring it out here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And this is a simple incident. We've seen this happen all weekend. Saw this happen in the Hearst Dash Series race. One guy on the inside just slides up into the outside lane car. That was Yepez who got in the Sametto. Such a heartbreaker there for Sametto. Had a top 10 run going for him for North State Racing. It's been a bit of a tough season. He's kind of been the second banana to Alexander Rowe on that team this year, but tonight was his night to shine, and unfortunately got dumped there by Diego Yepez. And such a great-looking car as well. That car will run again during the Raised Eyes and Tubing 400 Indianapolis during July 4th weekend. But ain't going to run anymore tonight here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, I'll tell you that much.
As we're falling along, just pretty cut and dry, just absolutely dumped by the 88. And he goes for a ride, so just tough break for him. He had such a good run going and nearly ran into the 75, Matt Delio. But this is going to be a game changer for a lot of these guys as Davidson barely edges out the 77 of Turner. So those guys, they might, like you said, they're probably not going to be in contention to win. I think it's going to come down between Turner and Oskin for the race win, but they'll definitely get some leverage in the points. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the restart here at Charlotte.
Let's see what happens. Jesse Turner continuing to lead here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Samit Ozkin, though, right behind him, looking for a second win of the year. Both these guys looking for their second win of the year here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Let's see who wins the longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600. We are back here at the Coca-Cola 600 in season number 9 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, and what a Coke 600 it has been so far. Jesse Turner, All-Star Race winner from last week, going to get a second straight Charlotte race victory. Of course, I don't think it's ever happened where the Coke 600 winner won the All-Star Race in the same season, but this is the first time that we ever had the All-Star Race before the Coke 600 and at the same track. So Turner looking to do that in the first year the All-Star Race is at Charlotte, but he's going to have to hold off a lot of guys here. You got Samit Ozkin right behind him in second. Patrick Smith has a bit of damage. He's running in third. Silas Orta, Brett Sierra. And then the 38 of Dale Lightning, Nathan Stapleton, Eli Bright, Diego Yepez, Mitchell Collins, and then all those guys who were on the tail end got back around and on the lead lap. A lot of guys a lap down, as you can see. LJ Semedo out of the race in the 66. Only 28 guys left on the racetrack with 11 laps to go in the Coca-Cola 600. Jesse Turner trying to win his second race of the year and his 7th in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
Again, I reiterate, I think it's going to come down between the 77 of Turner and the 83 of Ozkin. It's Cameron Garlington. He is unfortunately a lap down, along with a couple other guys in the back. But I think it's just going to be a dogfight between these two drivers to see who can win the race. Ozkin with, I believe it's his first win of the season. I'm not entirely sure on that.
It would be a second. He won at Texas earlier this year. They might have to watch out for Silas Orta. And another thing is, too, the tires are worn out on these cars. It's been a while since they've come down the pit lane. Tire is definitely going to be a factor here at the end of this one in the Coke 600. Jesse Turner holding off Samit Ozkin. Here comes Silas Orta. He is in third. Patrick Smith in a battle with Brett Sierra. Of course, Smith has some damage that's holding him up a bit, but still a fantastic run for Smith. All things considered, was involved in that first accident that we had. And he's definitely rallied to a really good finish. I mean, he got a little lucky there when that third caution came out, and he was on the pit lane when it happened. But still, great run right now for Patrick Smith. And looking to gain himself in the points there. Been a tough season for Smith here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Turner still pulling away from Samit Ozkin. If Jesse Turner wins here tonight, it would be, if I am not mistaken, I think it's win number 19 of his career? No, win number 20. He won the All-Star race last week. That would put him second all-time. He would break the tie he held, or should I say, went to with Garrett Senor last week in the All-Star race. He's tied with Garrett Senor right now at 19 wins. A win here tonight would put him at 20 career Napa fan wins. But Samit Ozkin wants his second career Napa fan win. He's to the inside. He finally got away around the 77. And Ozkin to the point here in the Coca-Cola 600. First time he has led all night long here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Not only that, he is fourth in the points coming into this race. Watch out for Ozkin this season. That Hamel Racing Enterprises number 83 is strong.
Indeed it is. Like you said, the points payout that would deliver, they'll be huge, as the top 3 in points all have either damage or are junked in out of this race. So if Ozkin can capitalize and win the race, then that would just be a payoff. As we see Jesse Turner, he used up some of his stuff, and we've only got 5 laps to go next time by. So unless something drastic happens, I think Matt Ozkin, he's going to be in the best position to win this race.
We're just going to have to see. I think you're right about Turner. He just used up his stuff trying to hold off that 83 machine. 5 laps to go in the Coca-Cola 600. You mentioned Reagan Whitlock. He's 16th. Whitlock's going to be the points leader at the end of the night. He's going to hold on to it after all that happened. He salvaged a good run because so many guys got knocked out. There's Silas Orta finally getting around Cameron Garlington, who was a lap down. Patrick Smith just got surpassed by Brett Sierra. Sierra goes up to the 4th position, then it's Smith, Eli Bright. This would be Lightning's first top 10 of the season if he pulls it off. Then you have the 97 of Nathan Stapleton, Diego Yepez, and Thomas Troxel inside the top 10. They are really spread out for the lead lap cars, and Samit Ozkin really spreading out from Jesse Turner here. Tough one there for Turner, but he's definitely going to benefit in the wild card standings Fisher G was involved in an accident, but Wyatt Quayle was also involved in an accident. Those were the two guys who were above the cutoff in the wild card standings. Troxel has them, Turner still all in the racetrack. I think Turner is going to have the advantage of those guys, and he's going to put himself into one of the wild card positions here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Only 17 behind the cutoff, and I'm pretty sure he's going to gain that on Wyatt Quayle. But I don't think he's going to gain enough on Salmon Oskin. What a run here for the 83. And he was relatively quiet all the way up until the end of this one here. But just as it always usually is, the Coca-Cola 600 looking to be won by a rookie once again. Of course, it's not going to be his first career Cup Series win as he won at Texas earlier this season. But it's definitely going to be a great win for Salmon Oskin in the number 83 if he can pull it off. Turner still falling back in the 77. The tires have just gone away in that race car. And next time by, white flag in the Coca-Cola 600 for Salmon Oskin in the number 83. Let's see what Turner can do.
White flag in the air for Samet Oskin. Can he win the longest race of the year? He takes it. Race is official.
Oh, Yepez had to come down the pit lane. So he's going to fall behind. He's going to lose out on the position he was in. We'll have to see if anyone else comes down the pit lane. I think it was just Yepez. Mitchell Collins as well. Both of those guys had run out of gas. Hopefully that does not happen to our race leader, Salmon Oskin. Number 83 is going to get the biggest win of his career. Salmon Oskin will win the Coca-Cola 600 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Turner will finish second. Silas Orta, Eli Bright in fourth. And Brett Sierra rounds out the top 5 in the longest race of the season. And what a race it was as well. In the end, rookie Salmon Oskin will be going the victory lane for his second win of the season for Hamill Racing Enterprises. How about that?
Oh, that was definitely a doozy Napa fan. 4 cautions, 4 incidents. I want to say big wrecks, but a couple of big and nasty wrecks here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Salmon Oskin's second career Chick-fil-A Cup Series win. He is your winner here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the longest race of the year. Jesse Turner, oh so close, but he's still going to have a good points day, along with Regan Whitlock. Definitely a good decision to stay out, drive that car looking like a modified. And Regan Whitlock, he's going to finish on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're right.
In the
yeah,
16th
14th for Whitlock. As you take a
Ooh,
look
14th,
at
even
the
better.
official standings of the race, and obviously we had that caution come out in between the cycle, and it put a lot of guys a lap down there. But a lot of guys got knocked out in this race as well, and this one was basically just as crazy as Dover was a few weeks ago. See, LJ Cemento got knocked out, Bradley Ream, Alexander Rowe, Nicholas Samadeo, Shane Lake, Gatlin Downey, Nathan Baird, Nathan Faden, Ace Garcia, Nicolay Sykes, Fisher G, Cody Sill, Zachary Fitzwater, and Wyatt Quayle all out here from Charlotte. Salmon Oskin will pull in the victory lane for his second win of the season. Turner a close second there, but still a great run. That's going to put him back in to one of the wild card positions. And we'll have to see how those points shake up after this one here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. But either way, we thank you guys so much for watching here. Coca-Cola 600, definitely a fun one. It was a wild one. And next week, we head to the Kansas Speedway for the Great Wolf Lodge 400. Who knows how that one's going to be? It could play out just like this one. It's only 54 laps, though, so it's a lot shorter than the race we had here today. But that's next Saturday at noon Eastern Time right here on Napa Fan. But, of course, we're all waiting for this Sunday, May 24th at noon Eastern Time. Turner will have another shot at a race victory this weekend as he starts up front in the Indianapolis 250. We'll have to see how it all goes down Sunday, May 24th at noon Eastern Time right here on Napa Fan for the biggest race of the year. Congratulations to Salmon Oskin, your race winner here in the Coca-Cola 600. Hope you guys have a great night. And here are the points for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series after 13 races. On behalf of Trey Wright, we thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. We're back here at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Coca-Cola 600 action from Charlotte. Wait a minute.
We're not at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway.
Wait just a minute.